Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, don't become her butler. In other words, how you can become her boyfriend instead of her friend or her butler with no benefits at all. I got an email here from a guy who met a gal online and started chatting her up. And they met and things started progressing, but he obviously didn't understand attraction, obviously hadn't read my book. And so he started doing and saying things that were giving away that he was needy and insecure. And when she backed off, he started to chase and totally basically destroyed the attraction that he had for her. And something that's really important to understand about this concept is I wrote an article a while back called Why Women Prefer to Chase Men. And I go into detail on the dynamic of how little girls go about receiving love and reassurance of their fathers, and how by understanding this dynamic, you can understand that women, when they become adults, they seek to gain reassurance and love from, obviously, the men that they're either in a relationship with or the guys that they like, in the same manner that they go about getting their love and attention from their father. Whereas whenever she's a little girl and she wants her daddy's attention and his love, she'll go find where he is and she'll hop up in his lap. And when she feels, when he's completely present with her and communicates to her how important she is and how much he loves her, then she jumps up and goes about her business. And then maybe a little while later, she comes back. Well, what happens is when she becomes an adult, she sees this same pattern, she seeks the same kind of pattern, because when she's a little girl, she has to go to her father. And like I talk about in my book, it's about being the mountain. You don't see the mountain chasing the wind. It's always the wind chasing the mountain. And when it comes to women, it's the same thing. And so you've got to give them the space to get to the point where they're unsure of where they stand with you. Because when they're unsure, then they seek, just like when they were little girls, to get that love and reassurance from that. And obviously when they're an adult, they're seeking an adult kind of relationship. But it's neat, because if you understand that dynamic, then you'll know that you got to back off and not interfere in it. Because if you start chasing the woman, then you're basically acting completely different than she was conditioned and trained to expect men to act in a relationship. I mean, she always had to go to her father when she was a little girl to get his love and his reassurance. And as an adult, she seeks to do that either through, when she hasn't heard from, calling him, sending him an email, sending him a text, dropping by where he works just to say hello, during lunchtime or whatever it happens to be. These are the little ways that she goes when she's thinking about you and she cares about you and she hasn't heard from you in a little while. She wants to talk to you and get that love and that reassurance. But if you're constantly calling her and pursuing her, you interfere in that dynamic. In essence, you're basically acting like another woman. And obviously, that completely destroys the sexual polarity in the relationship, because a feminine woman wants a masculine man. A feminine woman doesn't want a feminine man. That's obviously is going to turn her off. And so it's important to understand, because there's a fine line between, because what I teach is you start dating a woman, you call her once a week, ask her out, take her out on one date. And then the next week, you call her once, invite her out for a date, and the same thing. And usually by the third, maybe the fourth week, if you've done everything right, she'll feel comfortable to the point where she won't want to wait until next week for you to get back to her. As a matter of fact, she'll call you and text you or just to tell you what a great time she had. And in reality, she's just hoping that she doesn't have to wait till next week to see you. But like I said, if you're pursuing her and you're chasing her, you never give a chance for that sexual tension to grow. And so in the email, he says, "Hi, I met a gal from a local chat room, and we started talking for about 1 to 2 hours every night. For some reason, she started telling me about some guy who was supposed to get her a job. They ended up having sex on their second time hanging out together. Well, I'd say probably two reasons. Number one, she's probably looking for a job. And number two, what was happening is as you were talking to her and communicating with her over the phone, you were pushing those same buttons emotionally that this other guy was pushing. And so in her mind, she's starting to fantasize about getting together and maybe you'll have sex. This is part of what causes attraction for a woman. So she can wonder about those things. And so she's throwing it out there. Basically, in a way, she's saying, God, I really kind of hope, because the way I'm feeling right now about you, and I'm kind of hoping that it ends up like this other guy that I met. And so she's basically communicating what she's thinking, and obviously it communicates that she likes you. But I think you completely missed that. That's why I wanted to point that out. I bought the gal airtime, but she kind of disappeared after that. After a week or two, I sent her messages telling her that someday she should come and hang out as buddies. We got together. I liked it. She was hugging me, touching my head and my upper body. Obviously, things were going well because by the time it was time for her to go, she was touching you. So it's good. It means that she liked you, and obviously you did enough right, at least up until that point, to where you didn't, that she was coming on to you as opposed to getting turned off. Finally, I told her that the friendship alone is not enough. Then she said, we're not friends, we're just getting to know each other. Translation, if you hang back enough and you let me come to you at my own pace, then there's no telling what you and I can experience and have together. She's telling you to slow down. On Valentine's Day, she came to visit. We listened to music and had wine. She kept dancing and singing. When it was time for her to leave, we kissed. She kept holding my dick. All right, good for you, buddy. She even gave me her picture. After 5 days, she says that I love her and that I'm going to get hurt because she can't meet me halfway. She said she'd rather visit as a buddy and no kissing. That happened because you're starting to act dopey. I mean, she had your dick in her hand, basically, and instead you tried too hard. You tried to rush things instead of just letting things slowly happen, planning one date a week with her, and if you do everything right, she'll chase you more and more. But what happened is you started acting dopey, and that's why she said that to you. She said that you're going to get hurt because, in other words, she can tell that you're totally falling for her. And she's not feeling the same thing. And she's obviously, as a woman, she's probably been through this a lot of other times with other guys because this is how most men act when she gets around her. And so you're basically acting like a weak, needy guy, and she's saying you're going to completely fall for her, and you're not going to notice that as your interest level is going up, that hers is going down, and then she's going to dump you, and it's going to come out of the blue, and you're going to get hurt, and you're going to be brokenhearted. So she's basically saying, I'm letting you down easy by doing this now. So out of desperation to be in contact with her again, I sent her an SMS telling her that I found a job for her. Dude, that's a bad idea, man. I mean, that's desperate, weak, needy behavior. That's totally unmanly type behavior. She said she needed to sort her life out. Translation, I need some space. You're starting to suffocate me, dude, and you're making me feel really uncomfortable. So I think I need some time alone to think about how I really feel about you. But now I can't even call her because she just seems to be concerned about the job. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have lied to her and tried to trick her into becoming your girlfriend. I mean, you're basically acting like, now you're like a career counselor to her. So it's basically, she said that I'm going to put you in friend zone, and you said, okay, I'm going to stay there. And then you started chasing her, and then all you do is you further communicate that you don't understand attraction and that you're not very good at this and that you're not very successful with women. So she'll like you as a friend because, hey, you're going to help her get a job. But when you go chasing after her this way, it's really weak. So what should you do? You should do absolutely nothing at all. Completely stop trying to call her, contact her, email her, anything. It may be a couple weeks before you hear from her. But if she calls you, and she brings up the job, just say, hey, I was mistaken, it's no longer available, or I looked into it further and it's not what I really thought it was, so I'm sorry I wasted your time with that. But hey, what are you doing? When are you free this week? She say, why? Well, because let's meet up for drinks. She say, all right, well, I'm available Wednesday. I was like, great, why don't we meet at such and such place at 8 o'clock on Wednesday? Okay, great, I'll see you there. You make a definite date. But if she says, no, I just think of you as a friend or a buddy, just say, well, give me a call if you change your mind. And that's it. And walk away. And never call her again. And you got to wait to hear from her. Now, if you never hear from her again, it means that you drove her interest level below 51% to the point where she has absolutely no respect for you at all. And if a woman doesn't respect you, she'll never love you. And if that's the case, you'll never hear from her again. But maybe a week or two goes by and she calls you just to talk or whatever, then same thing. Try to arrange a definite date, time to meet up, and then start doing everything right. So I would suggest that in the meantime, you should start reading my book and start trying to meet and date as many new women as possible so you can apply the techniques that I talk about so you can get good and start being able to succeed at getting the women that you want instead of getting blown off or being told that, you know, she's not ready for a relationship or she just wants to be friends or that kind of BS. So if you find this message of value, you could show your appreciation by going down to the Wibia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located at the bottom of your screen in the Wibia toolbar. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, or there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation and your questions. And you got to give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response because I get a lot of email from the internet. I also get plenty of email from my paying phone coaching customers, and obviously I have to concentrate on their emails first, but be patient. I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away so I can help you with a specific challenge or situation that you have, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session with yours truly. And I will talk to you soon.